Hi, it's me, Jacqueline. Welcome to my channel. If you are new to the channel, then please subscribe to my channel and join me at Patreon. Link in the description. With 10 minutes before the store opened, I walked across the staff room and stood in front of the full-length mirror, the sound of my 4-inch beige court shoes clicking as my feet hit the wooden flooring. My perfectly made-up face stared back, the bright fuchsia lipstick highlighting my lips, as I had never imagined possible. I could not help glancing at the matching polish on my fingernails. Not bad. For a man. The navy pinstripe skirt suit was close-fitting, the skirt finished just above my knees, and had only a small walking vent at the back, so smaller steps were essential. I flicked the collar of my white satin blouse out and smoothed it down over the lapels of the jacket. My shoulder-length cut was a new look. I used a hand to brush the hair behind my newly pierced ears. Small gold earrings glinted in the light, and these matched the chain round my neck and the bracelet and watch on my wrist. The glossy nude hold-ups gave my legs a shine that was enhanced by the shop lighting, and I did feel good. I had to admit that. I looked at my reflection in the mirror and wondered how I came to be in this situation. It was late-night shopping one Thursday evening, and I was determined that this was the night I was going to buy myself a first skirt. This might not be any big deal, but you have to remember that I am a man. My love of female clothing was difficult to suppress, but until now I had managed to stop from actually going into a shop and buying something. But my downfall was the most gorgeous skirt I had ever seen in one of the window displays. A black leather pencil skirt that I knew I just had to have. I had already spent several trips just to walk past the window and glance at the skirt. So, now I was approaching the front entrance to the shop. It was close to shutting time, but there were still a few women inside browsing. I walked past one of the assistants as she stood by the door and made my way over to where the skirt was hanging. I had made a note on one of my glances inside to see exactly where the skirts were displayed. The shorter time I spent inside, the easier it would be. The quality of the leather was good, and I lifted up a size 16 from the rail. It was the only one left, so now I knew I had to buy it. The ticket said £50, but I had the cash, so all I had to do take it to the cash desk. The shop was now empty of customers except for me. This would make the task easier. I handed over the skirt to the woman behind the till. She took it and gave me a look. Her lapel badge said she was the manager, and I could see why. She scanned the barcode through the till. "Would you like the hanger?" I mumbled a "yes, please," and she put the hanger into the bag. Lifting up the skirt, she looked across at me. "This is 16. Does it fit?" As she said this, she stepped from behind the till and placed the skirts against my waist. I was speechless. By now the two shop assistants had joined her. She motioned that one of them lock the door, then she looked at me. "I'm sure you'd like to try this on. There's no point in having to bring it back tomorrow for a refund, is there? And I know it is for you. I've noticed you passing by here every day, so don't give me any of those. It's for my girlfriend stories." My embarrassment was getting worse by the second. This was not part of the plan. She indicated that I should join her at the changing rooms. "Come on, let's see how it looks. Oh, Cindy, see if you can't find a nice pair of heels for our young man. I'd suggest an 8 if we have that size." The shop girls giggled and went off to the shoe department in search of heels. The manager ordered me to get my trousers off. "And use shoes and socks while you're at it, dear," she smirked. I did as she asked and was soon standing there with only a black t-shirt on. "I see you're already wearing girls' things," she said as she held the skirt out for me. "Come on, step in then," she said. I stepped into the skirt and she adjusted the waist, then zipped me up. It was a good fit. She told me to turn around so she could check for herself. The hem ended just on the top of my knees. Not bad, she nodded. Cindy entered the changing area holding a pair of enormously high multi-striped slingback shoes. "Here you are," she said, handing the heels to the manager. The manager tooted. "Well, help the young man with his shoes, Cindy dear. He's not going to bite you." Cindy approached me with the shoes and asked me if I wanted to sit down while she tried the shoes on. I nodded, and she then placed the first shoe on my foot. The pointed toes and the slim, slender heel looked as though to walk in them would be impossible. Cindy put the other shoe on and stood back. "It would be better if he had some tights on," she remarked. "The shoes are a bit of a shove to get on." The manager nodded. "One thing at a time, Cindy. Now stand up, young man, and let us see how you look in all your finery." I stood up and noticed that my balance was not what I was used to. The heels were a little tight, and I was not too willing to try and walk about in them. The manager allowed herself a smile. Walk then, dear. You can't put shoes on and expect to stand still all day, can you? She motioned that I should walk across the changing area. I took small steps as I made my way across the heavily varnished wooden floor. The skirt rubbed against my legs and felt fantastic. The click-clack from my heels also gave me a thrill. After several minutes of this, the manager told me to stop. There I was standing in the changing room of a women's clothes shop wearing a leather pencil skirt and high-heeled sling-back shoes, being watched by a woman and her 2 staff. They found it quite amusing. The manager stepped forward. Not bad, but you'll have to improve if you're to work here. She watched as I took in what she had just said. Work here? I asked. Yes, we're short of a Saturday girl, and I'm sure you'll love spending your weekend dressed as a woman. She turned to her staff that were giggling with agreement. It will save the company a fortune. You can get your wardrobe form here. I will supervise your transition, and it will be a thorough 1-inch. She pulled out a diary from her jacket pocket and began to scribble. Your hair, makeup, and deportment will be of the required standard at all times. Today is Thursday. You will begin this Saturday. I was handed the note she had been writing. This is my home address. You will report there on Friday evening. Early, there is a lot to be done before I can let you loose on the shop floor. It will save time if you arrive with your body hair removed. I want your legs smooth as satin, so I suggest you get yourself home and get the razors out. I was allowed to change back. She took the skirt off the shoes and me. I'll keep your skirt here in the meantime. Don't worry, you'll soon be wearing plenty of pretty clothes and sexy heels. She led me to the door. Cindy and Laura are so looking forward to you working with them. I'm going to let them think of a name for you. Friday. I arrived at the home of the manager just after 6 in the evening. She opened the door and was very casual, dressed in jeans and a t-shirt. There was no makeup on her face, and she looked quite ordinary and not so vicious as she had appeared on the previous evening. Any hopes that this was all going to end as a joke were soon dashed. I had expected all 3 women to be there ready to have a laugh and say what a good sport I had been. But instead, I was led through the house and straight upstairs to the bedroom. Laid out on the bed was a wide selection of lingerie in different colors. A pink baby doll night set lay on the pillow. She smiled. That's for when you go to bed, sweetheart. Isn't it so cute? There were bras, briefs, and body shapers. The wardrobe was open sand. I could see the clothes hanging inside were all female. Shoes were stored on the floor of the wardrobe. Well, we best get started, she said. Take your clothes off and put them in this bag. She handed me a bin bag, and I knew there was nothing else to do but comply. She went to the wardrobe and started selecting an outfit. I hope you did as I said. We don't want you ruining your tights, do we? I was now naked in front of the woman. She observed that I had indeed shaved very close, and there was no sign of any on my chest, legs, or arms. We can do your hair and makeup, then you can get dressed. She ran a hand through my hair. It's a little short at the moment, so you can use a wig until it grows enough for you to get it styled properly, and you might benefit from a little color change too. For the next hour, she went to work on my face, plucking my eyebrows into a feminine shape. Foundation, concealer, eyeshadows, the works. She worked quickly, but was obviously skilled, for when she had finished, I had to admit I did look quite convincing. Several coats of nail polish followed, and finally a black bob-style wig was then produced to complete what she said was the first part of my changeover. I was not to move my hands until the polish was dry. Within the next half hour, she dressed me in the most amazing clothes. A white suit with a fitted jacket and short skirt was teamed with white patent killer quartz. I walked down the staircase very slowly, but still almost went over on my ankle as I reached the bottom. My figure was further feminized by wearing a skin-colored body shaper. It had padded bra cups and a very tight restriction around the waist area. Your legs are so gorgeous you won't need tights tonight, she complimented. And we must look our best if we are going out to dinner, she grinned. I looked at her and she seen the look of horror on my face. We're meeting Cindy and Laura for a celebration meal. They've got a surprise for you. She told me to look in the mirror. Now, I have half an hour to instruct you in the finer points of being a woman, so listen carefully. We arrived at the location for the meal and were led to a table where Cindy and Laura sat waiting to see if I was going to show up. My, you are a pretty thing, gushed Cindy as she rose to meet me at the table. You're gorgeous in that suit. I sat down, making sure I smoothed out the skirt so as not to crease it. The manger nodded in approval. You're learning. Laura handed me an envelope. Go on, open it, she smiled. I took the envelope in and used my deep red nails to open it. Inside there was a laminated badge, the same I had seen the women wear in the shop. This one said Sally, sales assistant. I looked up and Cindy started giggling. Welcome, Sally. We're going to have great fun working together. The manger smiled back. Okay, you girls, shall we eat? It's going to be a busy day tomorrow. Sally, you can stay with me tonight. I've already organized your outfit for, and I think you're going to love it. Cindy giggled. I can't wait to see you tomorrow. And just you wait till I get you into a pair of boots. You're going to love it, Sally. Laura grinned. Cindy does love her boots, Sally. The manager nodded. She does indeed. And I'm going to put you in the shoe department, Sally. That way you'll get to serve lots of women and have the chance to wear the best of our stock as well. Cindy raised her wine glass. Here's to our new girl. I hope you're convincing, because some of the girls who come in to buy shoes are very demanding and bitchy. I was woken just after 7 o'clock in the morning and ordered to take a shower. She handed me a bottle of hair color. You can shampoo this in. It's not permanent, but it will give me an idea as to what shade will suit you. The manager then told me to make sure I shaved extra close and that I was to hurry up. 15 minutes later, I entered the bedroom to find my outfit waiting for me. The manager stood there in her bra and panties. She handed me a similar set and told me to put them on. A pair of beige hold-ups were next. Take care you don't snag them, girl. She stood me in front of the dressing room mirror. There, aren't we pretty in our matching frillies? She remarked. You're going to find it so rewarding being a girl, especially when I introduce you to a proper corset, she said as she moved over to get the rest of my clothes. We can dress you first, then I'll do your makeup. But you're going to have to get used to the idea of doing this for yourself very, very soon. I stood looking at my reflection and found it difficult to take in that here I was standing in women's underwear about to be dressed and made up so that I could work in a fashion store. Please subscribe for the next part and visit my Patreon page for early access.